Hi everyone, this is Sadiq again. In this session, we'll learn about the line chart and the area chart. So first, we'll see what is a line chart. See, generally when I talk about a line chart is nothing but a chart which is used to present the information over the time period. Okay, you want to present some information over a period of time, how the sales are happening. So that is where exactly we use a line chart. Now, if I have to create a line chart, as we know, it is used for presenting the information over a period of time. So that means we need to have at least one date field and we should have at least one measurable value. Dimension is optional. So without dimension, you can still create a line chart. You can also have a dimension. Now, let us see practically how do we create a line chart from the scratch. So now if I have to create a line chart, I'll just go to the insert menu. From the insert view gallery. So I will select this particular thing called as line chart. Okay, I'm just selecting the line chart. So when you see this particular line chart, it shows me a kind of a template which shows me the line, how exactly the measurable value is changing over a period of time. Now in this one, so you can see we have x-axis and y-axis. Okay, and legends are there, but we need to give at least x and y. So generally x-axis is the bottom is it. So this is your x-axis. So x-axis should be your date field. So how do we add this? So I will just go to this particular add field here. I'll just hit on the add field and I'm supposed to get the date field. How do you know that field is a date field? You can see the field which has this kind of a calendar icon is a date field. And I will take this order date because I want to see how the sales have happened, okay, based on the order date. So I have taken the order date in the x-axis, and in the y-axis, I will take one measurable value. So measurable values are nothing but the values on which you can apply the calculations, the measures. And how do we know what are the measurable values? The measurable values are the fields which has this kind of a sigma, okay, the calculative fields. Let me take the sales. Fine, that's it. And you can see your line chart is being created. So now let us get into the focus mode of this so that you can see it in the better view. See, now in this particular line chart, what we see is we have 4 years of sales data starting from 2018 to 2021. Okay, we have this particular 4 different years sales data. And we see in 2018, we had a sales of almost very close to 5 lakhs, that is 4,84,000. But when you see in 2019, there is a slight dip, like, from 4,84,000. So you can see it has reduced to 4,70,000. That means almost 14,000 sales has been reduced. But in 20, you can see that it has given a sharp growth. That means it has done a very good sales compared to previous year. That is from 19 to 20, there is a big growth. And we can see it has never looked behind. In 21, again, it has performed really very good. So this is what we understand. So how in the 2019, there was a slight dip in the sales, but 20 and 21 was been a great year. In every year, they have been shown a very progressive sales. Okay, fine. So this is about your line chart. Now, here what I want is, I want to see the information like how exactly the sales went down, or like, quarterly wise. See, when you talk about a date has a built-in hierarchy. So when you talk about a date has a level of hierarchy here. So when you look into this particular level of hierarchies here, so it has the year. Within the year has the quarter, month, and day. Okay, by default it is showing based on the top hierarchy, that is the year based. So that means in 2018, 19, 20, and 21, how the sales are been growing. So that is what we are able to see. But I want to see this in the quarterly wise. Okay, I want to see the quarterly performance. So what I'll do is, we have this particular drill option. So as we have already studied about drill option in the previous, that is when we did with the matrix. So we have a drill with the hierarchies, or drill to the next level. Okay, we have a drill to the next level, and this one is to the drill to the hierarchies. So first, let us see how do we drill to the hierarchies. Hierarchy is what I want: the top level and the sub level and the sub level. So when I just go one step down here, so we can see what happens. Here it says in 2018, you can see your quarter 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that means this is the sales of 2018. So how the sales have happened, and this is the quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and quarter 4. Okay, and this is the sales again of 2019. Okay, so where we see that, quarter 1, quarter 2, quarter 3, and the fourth quarter. Okay, and the same thing is like, the what I say, the sales for 20 and sales for 21. So things are happening. Now, what we understand from this is when you look into the clear observation here, in the every year, the Q1 has been always shown the lowest sales. The Q1 has been always shown as the low sales. And you can see the Q2 is not really great, a slight progress, but not really great kind of a progress. But Q3, again, it has shown a good progress from Q2 to Q3. But you can see in every this one, okay, the fourth quarter is been shown the highest. That is the last quarter of the year is been showing the highest. So what we understand from this one is, since it's a retail store, and when you're doing this particular business, generally we see that, in the year starting, people are busy with a lot of official works, projects, and new projects they take in and so on. So they don't spend much time on shopping and all these things. So we see that, there is low sales. But the year ending, we have a lot of vacations, holiday seasons, festivals, and all this thing. So we see that, the sales are being peak. That means we see that, November, December, generally it has been peak. So that is last quarter we see that sales are being grown. So because we have a lot of holidays and so on, can be a various reason. So I am just assuming this can be one of the reasons. So now what I will do here is fine. So this is what we have analyzed it. So that every year, how this progress is been growing. Now, what I want to do is I want to drill this further for month-wise analysis, how exactly happening. So when I just hit on again the drill to the next level of the hierarchy, you can see this is showing the monthly sales. So when you observe here, this is for 2018 January. We had a sales of 14,000. In February, so you can see there is a dip downfall. In that month, we just had only 4,000. That is 2018 February. And we can see March, there is a sudden raise, 55,000 from 4,000, it has gone to 10 folds. But again, April, May, June, July, August, we can see a kind of an average sales around 20, 25,000. But you can see again, suddenly in this September, it is 81,000, sudden peak. November, there is a fall, and October, there is a downfall. But you can see November and December, they have been top high sales. Now in 2019, again, the same story here. Okay, January is a low sales and February the lowest sales. Okay, February has done only the sales of how much? Only 11,000. So here it was only 4,000, but it is better than this year. But again, March, there is a kind of sudden growth, but not as we have seen here. But generally, we have seen the March as a growth. But April, May, June is not that very great. But again, from the September, November, December, you can see there is a peak. I feel the same thing, January. And we can see February is better than the previous 2 years. 22,000. But again, you can see April, May, June, July, there is a kind of this one. And again, November, December, okay, there is a kind of a peak. The same thing here, January, February being the lowest sales. And you can see the sales values are increased. There it was 4,000, here it is 20,000 from 18 to 21. And every month we see that, the sales have been shown a very good progress to the previous year's months, the same months. And you can see November is shown the peak, or in the November alone of 2021, in that year, it is 118,000 for a single month sale. So that is really a good thing. So a good positive thing is like, over a period of time, the sales is growing. Okay, so you want to see that. So you want to see like, how from 2018 to 21, how the journey is happening. So here, mainly we see that month-wise how the sales are happening, which month has been a peak, which month has been a kind of low sales. Okay, so we are able to analyze between the previous historical years. Since we have the 4 years data, we are able to see this particular analysis. Okay, fine. So now, apart from that, we do also have what I call as a trend line. So what I will do is I'll just go to this particular add your visual, format your visuals. So where we have this trend line. So when I go to this particular trend line, so we can also see the kind of a trend line, how exactly a progress has happened from 2018 to 21. So it is just showing a kind of a trend setting. So we see that, from 18 to 21, when you see the kind of a trend analysis, yeah, it is a kind of a positive progress. So what was the sales in 2018? Like we had total 4.8 lakhs or something. And here is something like almost close to 7 lakhs. Okay, sales has been done. So we have seen that, overall, we have seen a good progress in the sales. Only in 2019, we can see there is a kind of a low this one, but here it has been growing. This is what is the analysis we are able to see. Fine. You can have a various lines here, trend lines, average lines, and so on. Now I say example, I want to do a further analysis here. Okay, further analysis is like, I want to see how exactly the sales are happening on, see, this is a month. Month contains a collection of day wise. So further, if I drill this, so you can see this is showing me the day wise sales, how exactly. So we generally see that this is 5,000, this is 0. So around like, 2,000 is the kind of a daily average sales. Okay. But, one day we had a very kind of a big day, like, on a single day, they had a sales of almost nearing to say 25,000. This is 30,000. So that means almost nearing to like what you say, 22,000 something. Okay. On a single day sales. So this was the peak kind of thing. So which has happened. So when you show the values here, exactly. So when you look into this particular thing, yeah, so we can easily come to know that. So this particular sales, what is there is this much. Okay, it's almost 25,000 and 30,000. That means almost nearing to 27, 28,000 on a single day sales. And second highest is when you see here, it is just around 18,000. There is a big difference. But generally we see this is like, the outliers, extreme, very good days, I can say single day sales. But on an average, you can see, so this is 5,000. Okay, most of the days the sales was below 5,000. Okay, when you see most of the days, spikes are ending, even not even touching this 5,000 mine. So you want to see this particular thing, like, what is the kind of average sales and things. So we can add a trend line, or we can see the trend line. We can see how the trend is happening. So that is, we just go for trend line, which just shows me a kind of a trend line setting here. So a kind of a progress, which is just almost 1,000 and to maximum of 2,000 or something. But okay, overall, we see that, the year by day-to-day sales are been growing. But I want to see the average line and so on. So I can just go to the more options. So I want to add an average line, the median line and things. So if I want to go for analytics point of view. So here, what we do is, in this, I'll just select what you say, lines. So you can see we have something called as a line, reference lines. So I will just go to this reference line and I want to add a new reference line. Okay. So I'll just hit on this add. What kind of a line you want to have? I say I want to have an average line. So I would just want to know what is the average sale. Yeah. Average line is being added. So what should be the color? Okay, it is in blue color. We'll try to give it a red color. Yeah. So we can see this is the average sales, what it is there. So when you see on an average, the sales are not that very really great. So their sales are just around 2,000 kind of thing. Okay, so average value. And there are some days like that has been shown extremely very good sales and all these things. So this is what you're able to analyze it. What is the kind of average sales on day is happening, and there is a kind of outlier, some kind of some very lucky days, or I can say some big days are there, and there's even some worse days are there. Even the sales are there, something like it can be 0 sales in a single day. It can be like just touching the bottom of this also. Okay, fine. Fine. So this is what we have done this analysis. Now let me go back. So let me delete this line. Okay, I'll just go back. We can see. So when you see it as monthly sales, the average sales is around between 40 and 60,000. That is just below 50,000 is the average line, average sales per month. So when I just go with one step before a quarter, so every quarter, 3 months, so just below 1.5 lakhs is the average sales. Okay. And if I go like, annually, so annually we had a sales of 4.8 lakhs, and here it is like, 7 lakhs. Okay. 7.3 lakhs. So average, you're letting that, yearly wise sales is 5.5 to 6 lakhs before that, between that. So that is almost 5.7 lakhs or something. Okay, fine. I'll just delete this average line. Yeah, I've removed the reference line. So now this was a kind of a sales which we explored it. We call this as the drilling option. Okay, so we saw with monthly, quarterly, we analyzed it like, which particular quarter the sales are good and bad, month-wise, how they have been performing, and so on. Now I want to see the cumulative. So that means like, what I want is, okay, this is the yearly sales. I want to see the quarterly total sales. Okay. a monthly total sales. So in that case, I will take this drill, which goes to the next level in the hierarchy. So in the date hierarchy, the second level is the quarter. So when you see, this is the cumulative sales. We have last 4 years data. All the 4 years, the Q1 sales cumulative together is only 3.59 lakhs. Q2, Q3, and 4. We see that Q1 has been the lowest sales, slight increase in Q2, but you can see Q4 is kind of a sharp growth. So that means every year we see that Q3 and Q4 is really good. So what is the kind of thing as? So when you as a business persons, we need to be prepared for this particular thing. What kind of a promotions, what kind of a marketing activities, what are the stocks you need to have, because it's a higher, what I say, products, no, we need to have that sufficient stock to do this particular business. We need to have a sufficient marketing strategies and all these things. Yeah, it is good. See, we cannot plan some kind of a marketing strategies, or you buy some kind of a products and you keep it stored over here. So the business is not happening. It's like, dead money. Okay, dead investment here. But we know that every year the last quarter is going to be a kind of a peak time, so big business. So here this is worth investing on those particular products, getting the products, and doing the sales over there. So we have analyzed it. So I want to see further, like month wise, how exactly. So we have seen in every year the overall February is shown the lowest sales. That means all the 4 years February together is only 59,000, 60,000. That is average of around 15,000 per year, per month is it February sales. So January is almost close to 1 lakh. You can see March kind of good, this one. But again, April, May, June is like, kind of a steady sales. But you can see the year end from the September onwards, there is a kind of a peaks. We are able to analyze this. So we can see even like, day wise. So you can see the start of the days and some days where the sales are very low. So this is like, 4 years, and 4 years has 4 into 12, 48 months. On every month, there is 6th day of the month, the sales was very low. So this is like an average of all this one. So which day of the month? See, when you are talking about the grocery stores, we generally see that, month starting, there will be a peak, because, people get the salary at the end of the month or the start of the month, and they are very busy with buying the household item, the first preference and things. So we generally see that first 10 days, it's a very busy time where all these provincial stores and all this thing, they make big money. And depends on, again, what class of area. If it is a official class area where people are being a salaried employees, okay, they spend more money in the start of the month, and end of the month, it is very difficult to spend money. So that kind of analysis we can see here, the day wise analysis. Okay, let me go back. So drill up to the year. Fine. So this is drilling this particular chart to the next level of the hierarchies, and this was the drilling to the with the hierarchies. Fine. Now next is, let us see how do we add a dimension. As I said, no, here we have just taken only the date field and a measure, but we are not used any dimension. Let us see a dimension. Now, why should we need a dimension? See, in 2018, we had a good sales of 4.84 lakhs. In 2019, the sales was reduced, 4.7 lakhs. But from 20 and 21, we can see a good progress. From 4.7 lakhs, it has increased to 6.1 lakh. Okay. And it is 7.33 lakhs. Good progress is happening in 20 and 21, but 2019, there was a downfall. Why exactly the downfall happened? So I want to divide this based on the different dimension wise, and I want to do the analysis. Now, let us see, divide this data based on the region wise. Okay. That is, we'll add a dimension here. So if I have to add the dimension, I'll go again back to my, build a visual. And here, so we have this particular, legend. Okay, legend is what? You're dividing the data based on the dimension. So I will just go to the legend here. And in this one, I'll just select the region. Now, when you select the region, so you can see that 4.8 lakhs is being divided, and you can see the highest sale is 1.5 lakhs. That means, so it is showing me region-wise how the sales have happened. And we see that in 2018, the highest sales was by the West region. You can see the legends over here. So you want to place this particular legends in any other place, we can just modify. So we have a legends if you don't want to show, but it becomes meaningless. I want to have the legends. Okay, but where you want to place? You want to place in the bottom or something? I can just go to the more options. Legends, I just say I want to place the legend in the bottom center. Fine. So I'm just keeping it over here. So you want to increase the text of that and so on. So we can just enhance those strings. I think that should be cool. So we see that this are the 4 regions, and each color is representing the respective region. So we see that West region has performed the highest, okay, in 2018, and then is your East region, then South and the Central region in the 3rd place, okay, with a slight margin difference. Okay, now, but 2019, what exactly has happened? See, what was the West region performing very good has shown a kind of a downfall, but a very small downfall. Okay, but at the end of the day, you can see that this is your East region, so which has done a sales of 1.28 lakhs, and in 2019 it has shown a good progress of 1.56 lakhs. That means almost another 25-30,000 increase in the sales. 28,000 ka sales has been increased. So that is like again 25% increase in the good is a good positive thing, even though the things are going bad, but this has shown a 25% increase in the sales. But you can see the central region, this orange color is central region. Okay, it has shown the steady, okay, not any progress, almost the same value. Okay, but the problem here is this one, the purple line here. So which is nothing but your South region. So you can see we had a sales of 1,03,000, and in 2019 it has performed only 71,000. So that means almost a 30%, more than 30% reduction in the sales. Okay, so because of which I can say 2019 there is a slightly downfall because South region has not performed. South region has done a very low sales. That can be one reason here. Okay, so that is what we see, clear reason here. South is very low, even though this is very slight. This has shown a good progress. This is normal, this one, but major this one is the South region. But when you see in 2020, what has happened is this one, that is the West region, which slipped down in 2019, but in 2021, it has shown a good progress. Okay, and it has retained the top position, and it has continued with the top position for 20 and 21 both. And whereas this particular East region, I can see it is a steady progress. So here, even during the bad time, it's shown the progress, and then it has continued the same progress, but it has ended up with the 2nd place because it has not shown a kind of a very huge progress, a kind of a steady progress. So it has ended up in the 2nd place in 20 as well as in 21. And you can see central region, a kind of a steady progress is there. But we see the only thing is South region. In every year, it has been always ended up showing with the low sales. The sales are very low in every year when you see here. Okay, so that is what. So we see that that means we need to know, like the South region is not performing good. So we need to look into who's the manager who's taking care of the South region. Okay, what all the states are there, each state wise, each category wise, so we can dwell into and get the more information, like why things are not going that really great when other regions are able to do good, and why this is not happening. So what kind of activities has to be that, what kind of management things has to be done. So we need to analyze it. Once you analyze it, so then we can try to figure out and ensure that this should not be continued. So this has to come into the good competition. Okay, so fine. So we can drill this again. We can see the month wise, quarterly wise, month wise, and then day wise, all these things. So this generally got called as a spark lines. So this is like adding a dimension. Yeah. Okay. Hey, now one more thing is, let me remove the dimension. Let me just want to show one more thing is, okay, fine. Let the dimension be there. Now what I want is, I want to even predict the future. Okay, so I can even do those particular things. So with the help of this particular line chart. So let me remove the legend here. Yeah. So we see that 2018 to 2019, there is a downfall. But again, when it comes to 20 and 21, it has shown a good progress. But I want to predict the forecast, like, next 10 years, where will I stand? Okay, what will be my sales? So here we can see in the visualization, that is like, format, we have a forecast. Just hit on this forecast. So when you select the forecast, you can see it is showing the forecast. See, we have the last 4 years data. Okay, 2018, we had a sales of 4.8 lakhs, 4.7 lakhs. So you can see 6 lakhs, and this is 7.3 lakhs. And you can see it is giving a prediction. So based on this 4 years, next 10 years, it is showing the forecasting. Okay, so based on this, it says in 2021, we have a sales of 7.3 lakhs. So we are expecting by 2031 in next 10 years. So every year turnover, it should be around what is say nearing to that is, 1.7 million. So that means 17 lakhs per year should be the turnover. That is what is expected. So that is the upper bound, lower bound. In the worst case is 1.15 million. So it is 15 lakhs per year. And upper bound, what is the forecast is something like 17 lakhs per year. Okay, on an average at least 16 lakhs per year is expected. So it is like 7 to 17, that means almost a double, more than double, no? So more than 200% growth is expected in the next 10 years. Okay, annual sales. So this is the kind of a forecast based on these predictions it has been given. Okay, fine, clear with this one. Okay, fine. So this is the various analysis that we can do with the help of the line chart. Next is we'll see about the area chart. Now, what is an area chart? So when I talk about area chart is nothing but is a filled line chart. So that means the purpose of area chart is again the same. It is you want to present the information over a time period. But what happens, this is like, the plain line. Okay, it is just growing something like this. But what happens in the case of area chart, we call it the filled line chart. So how do we create area chart? I can convert this itself to the area chart. See, its the requirement is going to be the same itself. When I just hit on this particular area chart, so you can just see the same chart is just filled with the colors. Okay, so the same set of fields and dimensions. So that means x-axis we take the date field, and y-axis we take the measurable fields, where I'm taking the sales value. And you can see how the progress. And when I keep drilling this, we can see it shows with the field. So based on the kind of visibilities and things, you can just go for this. Okay, see, apart from this, so one more plus thing what I see in this particular area chart is, suppose if I add a dimension, I want to see the region-wise sales. Let me add a dimension here. That is, go to the legend. In the legend, I will add the region. Same thing what we did for the line chart. So when you add this in the legend, I'm adding the region here. So you can see that, okay, whatever the sales are there, it is showing the same competition what you used to see in the line chart. So this is your central and the south region, east and the west region, how they are been performing, it has been showing. Now what I want to do is, I want to know what is the total sales in the 2018 and that sale contributed by the each region wise. In 2019, what is the total sales and contribution by the each region? So in 20 also, I want the same thing. What is the total sales and how the contribution is done by the each region? I want to get this information. So that means what I need to do, I need to do the stacking. So in the line charts, we cannot do a stacking, but in the case of area chart, we can do the stacking. So what I will do here, so in the area, you can see we have a stacked area chart. So you can just see here. Okay, so we have next to this particular line chart, you can see we have a stacked area chart. When I go to the stacked area chart, so you can see it shows me the total sales. Two informations we get it in this one is, so we are able to see what is the total sales, which is almost close to 5 million. Okay, 0.5 million, that is like 4.8 lakh something. And then we can see how much contribution is done by the each this one. We are able to analyze it. Okay, so we can see the zero line in the y-axis, it is starting from 0.1, it is 1 lakh. Okay, so I can make it as 0, so that may be more easy to understand. So how do we convert that? So we can go to our formatting and more options. Here on the left hand side, what you have, okay, so we call this as your y-axis. I'll go to the y-axis, and it is starting from auto, because there is no values below 1 million, no, so it is not showing that. It is starting directly from 0.1 million, so it is not 1 million. 0.1 million is 1 lakh. So I will just change this particular y-axis. I'll just go to the y-axis. You have a range minimum, so minimum is auto. I'll make it as 0. So you can see here is this orange color is your central region, and this is your east region and south region and the west region. So we see the total sales was something like this, and how the contribution is there. See, one thing we see that in 2019, there was so we are able to see the total sales and the individual contribution, and we see the highest contribution is done by this particular west region. Okay, and then is your east region and these two guys. Okay, now when you see in 2019, so what exactly has happened? The total overall sales has slightly a dip, but we see that south region has done a very bad sales here. Okay, so that means we see that in the south region the sales was very, very low compared to what it was in the previous year, and when compared to the others, this one also, this is a very low sale. So we are able to know what is the total sales, how exactly things are happening, and also we are able to know, like, contribution by the each region wise, which has done low contribution, which has done high contribution. And we see there is a good contribution by this one, what is the east region. So you can see east has clearly done a very good contribution, okay, compared to any other regions. And we can see this particular thing here is yeah, so when you see in this one is every year, okay, south is not that really great contribution. The contributions are very low compared to the other. This one, you can see this is doing a very good contribution, that is your west region. Every year you can see the kind of a progress, even though there is a small dip here, but you can see very good progress in every year. So that means during this has performed a very good sales, that is your east region. So always in the east, and this is like, big, this one. So the big sales are being performed by the east and the west region, and this central region a kind of average sales, but south has done a very low sales. So this is what is the understandings we get it from this particular chart. Okay, so this can be further drilled, I think. So that means the major difference between the line chart and the area chart is area chart, we can also have a stacking. So with the help of the stacking, I can get two information. What is the total sales and the individual dimension wise contribution? That is, we have taken the region as a dimension, each region wise, how they have been contributed for that. So what is the cause for the downfall, or what is the cause for the growth? We can easily find out with the dimensions value. Okay, so this was about your line chart and the area chart. Hope you like this particular video. Okay, thank you